Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Ringru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, bringing you more coverage of the September monthly SD2 Steel Division tournament. Today on Slutsk East, Rang, who do we have and what are they bringing to the fray?
On left-hand side in two, we have left-hand side in blue. We have Babaryann playing as the Finnish Panzer Division with a Maverick King Gun. And on the right-hand side in red, we have Farid Rommel playing as the 43rd Reserve Army.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what Farid Rommel brings over here. I know you jested with me just before we went live here. I feel very conflicted about the 43rd Army. It's one of those things that I think, realistically speaking, they could potentially have some nice kind of all-around material here. I mean, they definitely have the plethora of fighting vehicles. If you look at the air power they're bringing to the fray, it's not inconsiderable. But, you know, I don't know why I feel so blah about them. Is it just perhaps because there's other divisions that do what they do just better?
I don't know, maybe it's just like... I know they got like really good infantry and tanks and all that. Just the supporting structure in terms of like anti-air and anti-tank and all that, and artillery is not yet great. But you do have a lot of air power. Same thing with Finnish Panzer Division. So hopefully you see a lot of combined arms, airplanes blowing things up from the sky with bombs.
I was gonna say, hopefully they're both coming from the sky. It'd be really kind of absurd if they were like, oh yes, they're going to tunnel under the ground this time.
Yeah.
Early Yak 9, not really quite blowing up all the things we might have wanted him to, but he certainly wanted to deliver, dropping that entire payload upon that poor machine gun.
Yeah, yeah. And down south, we're just seeing a pretty reserved. That wasn't even meant to be like a joke, by the way. Pretty just reserved plays from both sides. No one doing any crazy pushes. Just kind of setting up in their retrospective areas.
Very, very true. We're gonna have another. Oh, Elu's in. Interesting.
Ooh, cool.
Elu, by the way, as you can tell, is a BF-109 ground attack. Well, it's an interceptor, but we don't see Elu happen very often. In fact, this might be the first time we actually casted with Elu on the map.
I think he was like one of the best fighter aces who wasn't German. Like the best in like World War II. I think. Don't quote me on that. Someone would put in the comments who Elu is.
I'm sure that'll be the case. I am a little bit surprised. Okay, there we go. I was wondering why the heck Elu was just kind of blasé flying the entire around the map when he was getting chased down by Yak 9B. Not happening so much anymore thanks to the ground fire.
Indeed, indeed. And we're all seeing... Yeah, there's a little bit of like close range tank play here. I mean, this T-3045 should probably run into his T-3476 down south. Heck, even the anti-tank rifle might just be enough to knock out that armored vehicle. But Farid is actually making a decent push in like the central position here. If he can pick Babaryann off the hill, which is definitely a possibility right now, he'd be in a great spot.
Yeah, but I don't know that Babaryann is really going to be pushed back quite so easily, or heck, even shoot away quite that easily. Yes, he's going up against the Machika Strafniki, and those guys are no slouches between the PP Shah and the PPS 43s. Definitely a ton of close-range fire support. But other than that, I mean, remotely any kind of distance fighting, remotely any kind of thing that's not anti-tank right next to them, and they are a giant liability.
Indeed they are, Khan. Indeed they are. Yeah, Farid is really just trying to make his push happen in his central position. And he definitely has some very good infantry which can go up against the Finns. I mean, those Avtos Trifniki officers. Just 15 SMGs and a fanatical squad. Yeah. Yeah.
But contrast that with the Cherno. To the north, for example.
Yeah.
This guy's just kind of like, please just leave me alone. And
we don't want to fight.
Exactly.
I'm just a Belarusian farmer. Leave me alone. Had to deal with the Nazis, and now I'm being forcefully conscripted. It sucks.
Back to my beats. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, terrible time being a Cherno. Terrible time just being enlisted anywhere on the Eastern Front. Let's be real.
Yeah, both sides really.
Yeah.
But Chikari in the meantime, so Chikari, of course, going to be deliciously effective in dealing with a lot of these squads. Not the Autostrafniki, as we're about to see, especially with that fanatical trait. Yikes, that is awful.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
once
my
to get the Molotovs
lord.
off, they have a good chance, but yeah, the fanatical stuff is absolutely insane. But, I mean, Farid's doing a really good job here. He almost has Babaryann off his hill and also capping that one flag just where the Avtor is. So that's going to be giving him that nice +1.
It will be giving them a +1, and right now 14-10. As we're seeing a couple of very cheeky flags being picked off here.
Yeah, I mean, Far
Nothing
North is
too
looking
crazy.
great. Farid.
No, because everything that matters is under control by Farid, yes. Very
Mm-hmm.
true.
And he has the SR-85 for long-range firepower. I mean, we do have 2 Pak-40s. 1 Pak-40 here to help out, but that's not going to be enough.
No, not even remotely. There is a couple of very, very strange territories being taken. So 13-11 right now is supposed to the 14-10. And indeed, if the Chernos get cleaned up, that could probably go the other direction pretty easily.
Yeah. It's just about... It's a pretty good push here so far from Farid. But, yeah, it's mainly just going to force Babaryann to invest just some basic firepower over here, which shouldn't be too hard. But the main thing, if Farid can just get those guys into buildings, it's just going to slow down any counter-attack.
That's going to be the case, at least for now. To the north, there is that one Pak-40 now trying to engage T-34-76 and the Su-85. I don't think, he can't see the Su-85, but T-34-76 is probably, yep, there he goes.
Down he goes.
I did want to make a quick call out to the southern side, because while the north is, everything important is in, Farid, Rommel's control, down south, Babaryann over here is, well, doing far better.
Yeah, he's actually making a pretty good attack here. Actually, I do like how both players are actually hitting all over the map and not getting too tunnel visioned. Usually we see on this map that people just get very much focused on just the southern area in general, mainly the hill. But, I mean, Babaryann really making great headway down south.
So that does seem to be the case. Now, the biggest issue is, like you said, pushing this western side of this town in the south. With the Chernos, we have a KV-1, and it's backed up by the PTRS. So that is a surprisingly durable little, Russian battle group here.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for them, this T-28 has the potential to get a kill, but I guess not from the front. Not from the front, though.
Yeah, I think the KV-1 should be fine. I mean, actually the Bofors... Oh no, this isn't the Hungarian Bofors.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't have the AP. He's gonna need, something a bit more heavily armed to really deal with that KV-1S, because currently, that thing is a tiger.
You mean that you feed it chickens at night so that way it doesn't eat the tourists during the day, or...?
I used to just feed it the tourists, it's cheaper. I like my chickens.
That's true. That's true. It's the other white meat. T-28 in the meantime is trying to engage T-34-76 down here to the south. So
Yes. Oh, good flank here, and the KV-1 is just gonna pop around and... Well, really, I mean, Farid is... He's got this hill under control. I mean, the Sturmey's gonna try and contest, but... I don't think it's gonna have a great chance at long range.
or he gets the kill.
Oh!
So.
That works too, and the T-28 is trying to beat his superior here, the T-34.
Bigger, faster, stronger in every way.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
That should not have happened.
That's...
I mean, no, that, wow.
I guess we'll call that a draw.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm watching the end of Soldier, where technically Kurt Russell should have gotten his ass kicked, and he didn't. So, whatever.
Or whatever, but I mean, Farid is doing really great. I mean, you're going to be exiting into B phase now, or entering into B phase now, I should really say. And he's got that +2, and that's really just due to his northern push. And heck, I mean, if you look all the way far up north, he's like one machine gun team which is holding fire is really only holding like this position. This is not really good for Babaryann at all. He needs some really invest some firepower up here is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, especially since that machine can only fire at one squad, and heck, even a Cherno, I would throw a Cherno against that thing and potentially actually just take it on hand-to-hand fighting.
Yep, but the Superior are going to get really close and they are going to blow them up.
Yeah. The issue sometimes with not using, just engaging here, I mean, geez, yeah, now the Cherno, yeah, he's going to fire down towards the Chernos. Static Charge goes in, skadoosh, and there we go.
Easy peasy. There we go. Yeah, I mean, Farid is making very good progress up here. And really not at... Well, it's really because Babaryann hasn't really invested too much. Now he actually has some T-3045s, which can give the SU-85, a run for his money. And then if he can just deal with the SU-85, it's just about slowly mopping up all the infantry. But that's going to take a little bit of time.
It certainly can. I don't think that it will.
Oh yeah, it's only Chernos, to be fair. Yeah, just
Well,
throwing a few Jakaris.
But things like the Yak 9B, for example, like making a run over here on the K-Pal, and yep, K-Pal goes down.
Kapow indeed.
It certainly does, and that's kind of just the kind of general tenor of this so far, is that every single time I feel like the Finns bring in another kind of really kind of counterpunch to what technically the 43rd can actually bring to the fray. The 43rd is just durable enough to bring in new material. So, I mean, kind of hard to hate that too much. And again, that's why I feel so conflicted about this division, because it just has everything, but at the same time, it
doesn't look like a lot in, like, the deck builder, because, like, you have a
yeah.
lot of tabs, which, like, you only have 2 or 3 slots in, but then you realize that, the game's really just about infantry and tanks. And currently airplanes, as we've been seeing in the past few replays, Reserve has all of that. And against the Finnish Panzer Division, even though the Finnish Panzer Division does have Panzers, surprise, surprise, frankly, they're not the best Panzers available. They were kind of just borrowing what they could get from the Russians without really asking the Russians permission.
Well, they say it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, so
yeah,
maybe
true.
they were just looking to ask for some help after the fact.
Yeah, I think they managed to iron out in like a September 5 peace treaty.
I think you're right. I think you're right, but I think the Russians made it some kind of comment about home improvements. They put in some weird iron curtains, so not sure what that was about.
No. Yeah, I mean, Farid's just doing really good overall. I mean, looking just down south here, there's just constant bombing runs of the Ak-9s. Babaryann's position is getting kicked out here. And it's really just a horde of Chernos just holding the ground, but there's not a whole lot from Babaryann's side to really do much about it.
No, sir. And a T-26, he does go down against the T-34-76. That's not too shocking there. So the Landsberg NT2 is coming over here. This is, again, isn't this basically just the finished version of a Nimrod?
Yep. Which is essentially just a Swedish anti-aircraft vehicle. The Swedes just sold it to people, because the Swedes are very good at making guns. Especially guns of the 40mm variety.
It was one of those things I found out the other day that after World War II, I never really realized that the French were like one of the greatest arms suppliers in the world. I know I've brought up the whole Toyota War before, but every single time I look up that statistic, I always think like, the U.S. is crazy into it, and heck, the Russians during the Cold War, but the French were right up there with the rest of the world. It's incredible.
I did not actually know it.
Yeah, so that the French were just kind of like, no one really wanted to say that they were the ones giving them the weapons, which is kind of more like, you want some croissants, and how about some Milan anti-tank missiles?
Ooh, Milan. Sounds exotic. I'll take 500.
Exactly. Oh, you African warlords are fighting each other? We'll sell to you both! 2 for 1!
See, if you play both sides, you come out on top.
Exactly. It's like the Oreo of arms sales.
Mm-hmm.
Down to the south, by the way, Strapniki being brought in. I think we're going to see the beginnings of the Soviet counter push to kind of really get rid of the last lingering shreds of Finns down here to the south. Unfortunately, where they should have been hearing Jaws music, now it's kind of more like Shark Tale. And we all know the relative difference in quality of those movies. And while we have one Jakari throwing himself blindly into the fray, I get the feeling he's going to go down pretty quickly for this T-34-85. So, there'll be that.
Yeah. That one Jakari, I got also like another singular Jakari gonna have to face off against, you know, a platoon of Soviet infantry with SMGs. Good luck.
Well, all of them are fanatics too, for that matter.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And as we expect, not the biggest hope out there for our friends over there of Babaryann.
Yeah, the Finnish Panzer, this isn't a great map really for Finnish Panzer Division, as the Finns don't have a whole lot of very good long-range anti-tank. Like the T-26s and T-28s aren't great if they, you know, can't get into a good close-range position. But even in, I mean, Farid has all the T-34-76s, which can kill pretty much the majority of the Finnish tanks, and he's also just been traded very efficiently and just getting into, especially in the central hill, just getting over here ASAP and actually securing it and shutting it down.
Bizarrely enough, there's one comment we haven't thought about yet as Babaryann is playing them. Clearly, he is quite finished with the entire idea of pushing into that town.
Yes. Yeah, at this point, I don't think he has really a snowball chance in hell and actually getting up that hill.
You know what? I think he should just stay home, have another Molotov cocktail, and think about his decisions for a bit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, down south...
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
I'm just thinking just, like, what you can really do at this point. I mean, it's just like a lot of Chernos. It's just about getting the fire support in place to just mow them down, but... I mean, Farid is just putting lots of pressure, especially for the aircraft.
True, and Yak 9B comes in. Yep, maybe won't get the most effective bombing run off, but oh well, or even at all.
Right. God damn. It's funny seeing the Brewster Buffalo actually doing good. I mean, the 2-star veteran, she actually makes it pretty deadly in terms of the agility and all of that stuff, but. Yeah, not the greatest aircraft, but apparently the Finns did a decent job of it.
It's easy to do a good job with it when that's really all you've got. But
yeah.
Geez, that Nimrod is also beastly.
Will the IL-2 recon plane get killed? No.
Nah.
I think the Brewster, he's out for blood.
Well, dude, buffaloes are scary creatures. That's why all the people going out west shot all of them, and it had nothing to do with the fact that they're just bloodthirsty savages.
Mm-hmm. And all the money.
Yeah, but I don't really feel like talking about Dances with Wolves anytime soon. And the PE3, well, the PE3 is going to end up at that buffalo pretty quickly. So right now, folks, we're going to cut away to Dances with Wolves. So. As we kind of suspect. Or, wow, geez, I really expected the Brewster Buffalo. Whoa, no. The Brewster Buffalo says this is not Animal Planet and just kind of continues to just kill more and more. Even crashes a plane onto that bridge.
Wow. Wow, yeah, I mean, Farid, he does have a lot of anti-air, but it's actually only 85mm heavy anti-aircraft guns, which is quite bizarre. You usually at least see one card of 37mm, but... No, really more of an anti-tank tab.
But the thing is, while we've been looking at this, we are going to see that Babaryann has just been getting knocked about, kind of like a red-headed stepchild. As Farid has just been 17-7, was 18-6 a second ago, and honestly, I think it's that T-34-76 that's going to keep it to a 16-8 potentially. But it's still a -2, and we're only going into Phase C just about now.
Indeed, yeah, I mean, Farid has just had really good positions all over. Did a great push up north, and actually in the central position, just all those flags, in the center is what giving him these easy points. And it's just going to be hard for Babaryann to kick him out in the open. I mean, the Finns aren't exactly the best in long-range tank fights.
No, and like you said, this is not a map you really want to bring all the Shikari in, because these are guys who let the strike from shadows.
Hmm.
They listen to their archons. They have their incubi, and they want to just hop in and out. They don't like open fair fights.
No,
That's
they do not.
bad
Actually,
idea.
interesting fact, Khan. In Finland during the Second World War, the average tank engagement which a Finnish tankers engaged in was only 300 to 400 meters. And the
Really?
longest range tank kill was apparently only 700 meters in Finland.
So just as a point of contextual idea, I think isn't the average one, not talking about like bocage country otherwise, something like 800 or 900 meters
Yeah,
overall,
I
isn't it?
believe so. It's like somewhere just under a kilometer, I believe. Just there's a lot of factors, yes. So don't take these statistics, for face value, you guys. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty short range in Finland. They don't know how to dial the guns past 700.
I remember, ironically too, this goes back to when the Russians first attacked in the Winter War. They didn't have enough artillery, and some of the artillery that they had went back to like 1896.
Yeah, they had some pretty old like Russian Imperial guns.
Yes, yes, but you can see like right now, for example, like geez, they have these Pack 38s that are just kind of playing the door knocker game, hitting on off the IS-2, and the IS-2, he's more worried about his transmission than he is actually about his life right now.
Indeed, we're actually seeing Babaryann. It really feels like he's going for like one desperate push down south here, onto the hill via Yakaris. He's got some Yakaris into the like central open area now to try and clear out that town. So he doesn't really have much time, but it does feel like he is actually making an effective counter push.
Well, it's only because 85 hasn't really approached just yet, and also let's be fair, we have Chernos being backed up by Autostraf Mikis.
Oh yeah,
So that was disheartened. Who's disheartened? I'm not disheartened. So while they are going to see some limited success here, I don't think that's going to be a long-term solution.
no. We've seen this constant bombing around, so at least one Yak 9 was forced back by that Landsberg. But even then, I mean, yeah, Babaryann has to capture 4 flags to even it out. That's a lot of flags he's going to have to flip.
Yes, and then he's got to hold it for to make sure that it doesn't happen 90 seconds worth of enemy control here. But we're going down into these last 90 seconds, or what feels like the last 90 seconds. And I'm trying to really kind of suss out what the major kind of successful stroke was here. And I feel like it really was that kind of center play.
Yeah,
This hillside, where all these superior Kamaratis are, the PTRS squad, and now the Nostovakis, if this isn't so easily in Farid Rommel's control, Babaryann has a really, really good chance in this match.
yeah, if he could have kept a better control on that hill, I mean, it would have been a bit more of a better area for his T-26s and T-28s and other hand-me-down Soviet tanks to actually engage in. Same with his infantry as well, but he was definitely much more forced into a long-range tank battle here, like against the KVs and whatnot, and the Panzer Division isn't great in that regard in long-range open fights.
Actually, that was one other thing I was going to say to you. Did you know that the actual average Finnish kind of KD ratio was actually a 5-1 in favor from the Finns against the Soviets? And that it took 5 Finnish tanks to take out 1 Soviet tank.
It took 5 IS-2s to kill a single T-26. That's
Exactly.
how good the
Exactly.
tanks were.
Hey man, the 300 to 400 meters thing, man. That I played World of Tanks, and clearly that is an effective World War II simulant.
Just shoot the cupola, it's easy.
Exactly, exactly. But you can see right there. I mean, the Panzer Division just
Not too
fighting
bad,
in
actually.
a milieu, but they're fighting in a milieu that's really not good for them.
Yeah, I was actually expecting worse, honestly, for Babaryann. No offense, mate. But,
No,
yeah,
but you know
he's
what?
doing decent towards the end.
Yes, and that was the thing I was going to bring up here is that yes, these Yak 9s are absolutely murderous against ground targets, air targets. It didn't really matter what the heck it was. But we have things like the Landsberg, which killed, a couple things here and there. We have the Brewster, who killed 3 targets in the air, which is impressive because I think the Buffalo was pretty much on its way out. Just limited minor all stars, and I say that Division 2, Division 3 kind of things here. And the Soviets just didn't really need to kill a bunch of stuff. They just stressed it out constantly.
Yeah, and just a horde of Chernos backed up by the fanatical Strafniki is just a lovely 1-2 infantry combo, as we saw.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's enough to share no anybody up into smaller pieces. So, but that I think kind of brings us to the end of our coverage for this particular week. Any final thoughts, sir?
No, Mr. Khan.
Well, folks, in that case, then we will see you guys all soon. Until that time, I'm Khan Ulrich.
I'm Andrew. Take it easy.